Hello. I'm coming to you from my floor. So I have been very proactive and working on unlocking issues in my body for years and years. The body code method is actually developed based off of the years of decoding the body and how it actually functions, and not only moves within space, but what happens with the connective tissue, and how a breathing pattern as well as an activation of the bones is utilized to unlock our fascia. But more importantly, it's not, I don't know if it's more important, but I mean, it is extremely important, is that the connective tissue alone holds a cellular memory and an emotional body. So usually the fascia, when it unlocks an emotional pattern that was stuck in the tissue during time of either trauma or repetitive motion. So people don't understand how your body can have internal adhesions, as far as, how do I say this? As far as, I call it internal scar tissues, and they're just internal adhesions. And so when you tell this to people and you let them know, that's a scar tissue, they don't understand that the body will naturally create its own scar tissues regardless if it's ever been cut, right? I mean, if you bang an arm or a leg or a part of your body enough, you will create an internal adhesion. Your body will start to change its structural patterning because of this compression within the tissue. But it'll start to bind and pull and start to play an internal tug of war. And those little bitty tug of wars can make a huge difference in our well-being, in our movement, in our spirit, and all of it. And so why am I talking about this? Because I have been doing all this work to unlock a specific area of my body, which got unlocked today. And in the process, I'm slightly debilitated. It's not a bad thing because of what I do and because I know how to put myself back together again. What a blessing and a gift that is, that I am capable of doing so. However, I find myself on the floor and my legs are up the wall, and I'm helping the back line of my connective tissue soften and let go. So why am I sharing this with you? Because everybody's got shit. And with saying that, and a little bleep, I don't know if you heard that, but that confirmed everybody's got shit. So I say this because, and I'm laughing hysterical, you are now witnessing me after probably an hour of doing work and unlocking my connective tissue and wailing and bawling my eyes out because it was so painful. It's an old trauma. And it was a big shift. It's some of the last of what my body's been holding on to. So, little background. One, in the future there will be a video with my story on it. I have a dear friend helping me create this video. And so just to give you a little background story, I had my hips dislocated at birth. And so I didn't walk normal. I didn't know I didn't walk normal. I just walked. And what ended up happening is it created a lot of internal scar tissues. And by the time I actually went and received what is called Rolfing, or structural integration, the ligaments were ripping off my bones. And during the process, she unlocked my connective tissue, my fascia, and regaining access into my body. And so with this form of body work and my continued study of breath facilitation, as well as manual therapies that I've trained in, I have developed the body code. The body code is like an internal structural integration or an internal Rolfing. And the method to which we do is activating through your bones. You actively engage your bones and you hold positions of structural stability. So ways of regrounding ourselves, all linked into the arches of the body. It's really key. It's all about the arches of the body. And so activating and firing up the bones of your body and sitting and breathing in it. Now, usually when you get to these places where you activate the bones of your body, you ignite pain and tension and resistance, and honestly, you ignite shit you don't want to deal with. Right? The average person, we disengage from pain and aches and all that good jazz because we don't want to deal with it, and then later on down the line we don't understand why we have, rotator cuff issues or knee issues or ankle issues, right? And so oftentimes the people I work with have issues that really aren't the primary issue. The primary issue has something to do with something completely different, but we have to get them out of steps and stages and layers. So, with that being said, as I said, I'm on the floor and I have my legs up the wall. And so I'm going to flip this around and I will show you. There are my toes. There we go. And so what I'm doing is I have a dowel in my hand, across my feet with a strap. And what I'm actually doing is adding a level of pressure into the arches of my feet while structurally aligning my bones. This is causing connective tissue to cramp up. It is causing my body to resist holding this spot. I want to run. I really do. I want to run from this place. It's not a fun place to be. My shins are cramping. My bones around my femurs are cramping. I want to splay my feet outwardly because that's a natural pattern. However, in order to change the structure, I must hold this pose for a longer period of time and work on lengthening the connective tissue from the bottoms of my arches all the way up my back. And it's actually, actually it is all the way up to, well, really it's up to here, right? So the connective tissue that starts, I think it starts here, runs all the way through the back of the skull, comes all the way down the back of the body, and then it splices and it travels down the backs of both legs. And it connects on the heels of the feet, right? One piece of connective tissue, one, that you could sprain an ankle and get headaches from it. Amazing, right? Amazing. So what I'm doing is working on getting these legs to stabilize and my pelvis to stabilize, because what I unlocked today was pretty dramatic. As I said, I had a hip dysplasia at birth. I then, years later, on top of a very weak structure, I had been, some people already know this, but I had been over 300 pounds. And so I was at a very heavy weight, over 300 pounds, and my kneecap buckled in the other direction. So my femur, my thigh, my femur bone crushed my tibia bone. And I had a kickstand for a leg, is what I called it. My leg would kick out to the side. And I have had drop foot for since 2001. So the knee injury took place in 2001, and since that day I didn't have full flexion of my foot. It wouldn't flex. It would pretty much like drag if I walked. In the beginning it dragged all the time, and then over periods of time I built up a tolerance. It did not flex every time I took a step. Randomly it would flex. And so in my recovery of my body, I have worked long and hard to gain access to my foot. So because of that, because I had drop foot for so long, my body compensated and put a level of pressure and binding in my hips. And so what took place today, now I have been working really, really hard at unlocking this. It is a deep pain in my hip that I just, you work through every day, and I chip away at it all the time. Some days it's easier and some days it's harder. So today I had trained people for about 2 hours. My body was super warm. And then I had an awesome opportunity to work with a young man today who is teaching one of his first yoga classes, and he asked me to he hired me to go over some things in detail so he could refresh himself and feel more confident in what he was doing. So really cool. So grateful for the opportunity to work with him. And I think on some level, whether he knows it or not, it was a gift to witness my body make such a dramatic shift. Because no matter who teaches my body, I'm going to go into the body code method. It's my style. It's how the body actually heals itself on the optimum of levels. So for me, why would I choose to work my body any other way other than that which creates the most profound healing and results? Just bottom line. So we were in some yoga poses and I was accessing these codes. And while doing so, a huge chunk of my connective tissue let go and woke up a nerve bundle that was stuck underneath it. And so I am sorry that it frightened him a little bit today when he realized that so much had unlocked. But the blessing is to witness how I responded and realize that he's going to have people that get hurt. Not from him specifically, or he's going to have injured people. He asked a really important question. And the question was, if somebody gets hurt during his class, are they going to think the way I did? I looked at it as a blessing because I've been working hard to get that hip to unlock. Did it feel like a blessing? Absolutely not. It does not feel like an effing blessing at all. Let's be clear, people. It does not feel like a blessing, okay? However, I know it is. I have the tools and skill to get myself out of it. And you just gotta roll with it. And the gift of the freedom it's gonna bring me on the other side, having access and better quality of life and structural alignment in my body. I'm not gonna, it's priceless. It's priceless. However, it's an extremely difficult thing to work through. I'm not gonna lie. But it is not as difficult as we think it is. Okay? So most people are afraid of their pain. I teach you how to breathe into your pain. Okay? The reason I do my work is because it creates unbelievable results for people. And it doesn't just heal your body, it heals your spirit, it heals your mind, it heals your soul, right? It gets rid of stories that we've stored in our body from traumas that no longer need to be present in our worlds. So, I guess the major reason I was making this video today was so that people realize that, one, you're not alone. This is not a easy process to go through and healing your body, your mind, your spirit, none of it. And that there are methods and ways. And quite honestly, I think one of my major gifts is in the experience, that which we think is not meant to be felt, right? We think like, oh my God, I'm feeling pain, I should not do that. Oh, it's burning, I shouldn't do that. Oh, it's cramping, I want to get away from it. No, that's the good stuff. That is the good stuff, especially if you're being cued properly, especially if you're in the right structural alignment in order to achieve the burning, the cramping, that which we want to run from. Those areas are it's like the center, it's the caramel, it's the good shit. It is where the healing is in those levels of discomfort. Now, if you felt cramping and you hadn't drank water, or you're a horrible water drinker and you don't work out and you just, or you do work out and you don't, stretch or do those things properly, then I might be concerned with some cramping or burning sensations going on. If people are couch potatoes and they're having those things, that's different. That's very different than what I'm saying. But when we are actually being proactive and what I refer to as a static activation. So in the body code method, I utilize a static activation. I apologize for all these little ding ding dings. That is a dear friend. Hi, Helen. So I am when you utilize this static activation, you fire up your bones in such a way that your connective tissue literally melts and reshapes itself. It is the connective tissue that holds the impingements within your body. The connective tissue that binds things up and eventually creates, tears or rotator cuff issues, knee issues. It is the connective tissue that actually you want to focus on, not the muscles. You do want to focus on the bones, but the muscles will just go for the ride. They will go back to their natural state of comfort when the connective tissue lets go of the bind. Okay, so I guess I'll leave it there. I am still legs up the wall and doing the work, and what I'm gonna get deep into now is working on stabilizing my legs into my pelvis, and then working on resettling my sacrum. So had I had more hands or access, I would love to film and show you what I'm doing. And down the line and in the future, you will have more access to that. I'm gonna start showing you tutorials of how to get yourself out of your traumas, or injuries, or just get more from your body. There's so much, so many things. If you are ever looking for one-on-ones, or whether it be a private over the phone, or distance work, or one-on-one face-to-face, please feel free to contact me. Reach out GreenTreeGoddess.com, and check out my website, GreenTreeGoddess. Oh, that was my website, GreenTreeGoddess.com, or GreenTreeGoddess@gmail.com. So my email is GreenTreeGoddess@gmail.com, and the website is GreenTreeGoddess.com. And I will talk to you soon. Have a blessed day.